Hello, sports fans. This is Chris from the West Coast Sports Junkies, inviting you to join us as we talk sports. West Coast style. Get a local British Columbian perspective on the world of sports and beyond. Don't forget to subscribe to our show on podcasting platforms such as Apple Podcasts and Spotify. Be sure to follow us on Twitter at West Coast Sport 9. Reach out to us by email at westcoastsportsjunkies@gmail.com. Find us on Instagram at west_coast_sports_junkies. If you have any suggestions, questions, or just want to get into it with us, Ty, Mike, and myself are always here to interact. Our slogan always is, sit back, crack a beer, and enjoy. Join us weekly for new episodes.
Let's get into it.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome to episode 56 of the West Coast Sports Junkies. West Coast Sports Junkies. Here we are, www.westcoastsportsjunkies.ca. That's our website for all our great content. Episode 56, we got a good show for you tonight. We're going to get into the draft lottery, okay, which Montreal won. Surprise, surprise. Worst team in the league. We're going to get into the NHL Playoffs and whatever that means. I'm not very happy with some of the results I'm seeing even today, but it is what it is. And we're going to get into some NFL talk. I know Ty was talking a little bit about Mr. Brady, the GOAT. And we'll get to UFC. And we've also got our best bets as usual. So look for those and make sure that you listen to what we say, because typically we're correct.
We have our moments.
We have our moments, but yeah, that's what we're going to get into tonight. What do we got going on, boys? Mr. Mike.
Where are you this week there, Kovic?
Oh, I'm in capital city of the province here.
This boy gets around, eh?
West Coast. I'm all West Coast, baby. All over the West Coast.
Right on. How's the weather over there?
It was beautiful today. Now it's a little cloudy. It's a little like it's going to drizzle a little bit or something like that. So.
Right
But not
on,
bad.
right on.
Not bad. We're going to talk about our Edmonton trip again.
I think we covered most of it last week, but
Yeah,
we might have
sure
left a few things out.
Yeah.
I feel
we
like
might
the
have-
Oilers need us out there, man.
Oh man, what a disaster! Oh, I don't even want to talk about it. Stupid hockey
team.
pool. Oh, stupid hockey pool. I'll tell you.
Jesus.
Yeah, man, they need some defense, and actually, Mike Smith has not been playing that bad. So
No,
can't
but
really
he
put it
still
all on him.
sucks.
Defensively, they've been terrible.
He single-handedly lost. Mike Smith single-handedly lost them game one. Single-handedly.
True,
Okay.
but he's been pretty good.
Quick has been unreal, though, too, on the other end.
In his old age, he
It's
has
been
been. Yeah.
It's been a weird series.
You see him trying to catch the puck with no glove?
Yeah,
Yeah, I saw that. I saw that. That was pretty funny.
It's a weird series though. Like the Oilers, what was that, game 3 in LA? Just absolutely demolished them, and it looked like they were
8-2. Yeah.
gonna, potentially run away with the series, look like the far better team. But man, that has not been the case these last 2 games. But they're still alive. There's still a couple games to be played, so we'll see how it plays out. But Mike, we didn't get into what you're drinking tonight.
Oh,
Yeah, wait. Before you guys do that, unfortunately, I have to depart the episode at this time. But enjoy yourselves. Have a great show. I'll make sure I watch it. And yeah, unfortunately, duty calls, so I'll have to do that. But looking forward to listening to this episode. So
Yeah, thanks for jumping on. And Govik, I have your best bet for you. Okay, do you want to hear it before you leave?
Yeah, tell me.
Oilers will win Game 7.
Ooh.
And advance to the second round.
Ooh. Well, they got to make it to Game 7 first, okay?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. By the time this is out and everything, it's gonna be happening.
Okay, we'll hold you to that.
Hey, that's your best bet. I'm just helping you out here.
Yeah. Okay. We'll hold you to that.
All right.
Okay. Talk to you later, guys. Have fun.
All
All
right.
right, see you, man.
So, Mike, you don't have a drink or what?
No, I don't actually have one on me right now. I was rushed to get in here early to help you out, but I'm gonna have I'm just gonna go with a simple beer. I'll go with the kokanee tonight. How are you? What do you got going on?
I'm drinking something different tonight. I got my Crown and Coke. Been on
Something
those
different,
lately.
eh?
Something about the NHL playoffs, and you see the Crown Royal sponsors everywhere. They're a big sponsor of the playoffs. It's like I sit down. I wasn't gonna have a drink. I'm like, you know what? I'll have a drink. I don't feel like a beer, so we go to the Crown and Coke.
Yeah, right on.
But yeah, no, the playoffs have been pretty good so far. Kind of weird. There's been a lot of blowouts where I see. It feels like years past. There's a lot more overtime games. Anyways, there's only been 3 or 4 so far this year.
Yeah.
Other than that marathon Rangers Penguins game early on, and they've been fairly quick. There hasn't been a lot of double OTs and stuff like that. But
like the one last night with the Oilers, it was over in like a minute.
Yeah, you know what that
If
kind of
that.
reminded me of? A couple of those Canuck games where it's a couple of playoff games I was at years ago. I want to say one was against the Wild.
Oh my god, I was at one too.
I think
When,
we might have been at the same game. They tied
he
it
scored
late.
a shorthanded goal. Naslin scored a shorthanded goal when Willie Mitchell was in the box. Do you remember that?
Yeah.
I think you were at the game.
I think
We were
this
at
is the same game. Yeah.
Yeah. And so we were like partying the entire intermission
That was to tie it to go to overtime,
Yeah,
obviously.
to come back, sit down over. Like,
Yeah.
what?
That's kind of like what I felt the Oiler fans would have been going through last night, because they came storming back. It was a little different comeback. They came back from 2 goals down, but just to have that, they were probably partying. You know, the team had all the momentum. They're on that high, and then you start overtime. LA dominated for about 2 minutes there. They had them hemmed in, and just like that, the game is over. It's like, what the hell just happened?
Yeah, man, I feel bad for that team. I don't know. I think it's gonna be tough for them to win 2 straight against LA, especially you got to go to LA and play one of them, man. I don't know.
Yeah,
LA's a tough team to beat. They're pretty resilient. It's gonna be if they win. I think if they win the next game, I think they'll take it in 7, like you said. I'll go with Govic's bet there, but they got to get through that next game, man, which is gonna be a tough one.
Yeah, no, for sure. And well, you look at the games in LA, like they did blow them out one time down there, 8-2.
Yeah, that's
so
true. You never know.
It could happen, and they definitely have the firepower to come back in that series. But yeah, just defensively, but it's like the same thing we've talked about for so long. It's like defensively and goaltending.
Yeah.
They have one of the best duos in the NHL right now, in Draisaitl and McDavid. You just wonder, like, you know, they went out and got Evander Kane, which he's been a pretty good addition, but like, you know, that money could have been spent, I think would have been more useful in the back end or even goaltending, but I don't know. We'll see what happens. And the other Canadian teams, well, Toronto, that game yesterday was pretty crazy. Down 2-0 in the first to the defending champs at home. I did not see them coming back and winning that game. So I got to give them credit there.
Baby. Here we go. Actually, I think that they're going to see a game 7. I love game 7s. I love the excitement, especially when my team's not in it, because my emotions get too involved. But I like watching good teams go at it. Game 7 in the playoffs, especially Canadian teams. I got the Leafs. I think that one's going 7. I
had the Leafs. Sure. I had the Leafs last year, and we saw how that went in our same playoff pool. But I don't know. Am I one of the only ones that cheer against a lot of these Canadian teams? Like, I want the Leafs to get bounced every year. I think it's awesome. I mean,
why?
Is that just because I'm a long-suffering Canuck fan, miserable Canuck fan, wants to see other teams like that? I want Edmonton to get knocked out. I think it's hilarious. All their luck in the draft over the years, and they still, you know, can't go on a run.
Yeah, it's kind of embarrassing, eh?
Yeah, for sure. And then, you know, how long is McDavid gonna put up with this? You got to wonder. Like,
you think he's going to ask for a trade?
Well, I don't think anytime soon, but I mean, how many years the guy take of this?
I don't know.
He's making some interesting comments. He made one comment after the game, like, you score 4 goals in a playoff game, you should win, kind of thing. Like,
he's
putting
true.
it a little bit. Yeah, but he's not the best defensive player either. I mean, the guy's all offense. He's I don't know. You can look back a lot of plays in the series that they focused on, like commentators and analysts in intermission, where he gives the puck up, doesn't get back in time, leads to odd man rushes and stuff on his crazy rushes. I mean, but you got to take that with him, right?
Yeah, for
Yeah,
sure.
it just creates so much offense.
Can't blame him, man, for not getting back. Look at Ovi, right?
Oh yeah.
Ovi just sits at center ice
for sure. Yeah, totally.
You
agree.
know, and I saw McDavid throwing his weight around quite a bit more than he does, obviously in the regular season. Mind you, this is playoff hockey, and is probably why we like it so much more. But you can see the emotions coming out in him for sure, which is good because you know that he wants to win. Now their backs are against the wall; they got to win. So I'm really looking forward to Game 6 because he's gonna come out flying.
Oh yeah,
and he's exciting. You know.
Yeah. But yeah, so what if they lose Game 6? Where do they even go from here? What are they gonna do?
Oh man, I'm just worried about like the Canucks and what they gotta do. Okay, I can't worry about all these damn teams. But yeah, it's pretty obvious what they gotta do. Defense, man. You gotta build up that back line.
Yeah.
And goaltending.
Yeah, no.
Although I like Smith. I don't know about you guys, but
yeah,
he scored a goal that I was at the game.
Yeah. That is true. Yeah, no, he's okay, but he's getting up there. I don't see him being around much longer. In the NHL, maybe a year or two, but yeah, I don't know. But yeah, back to the NHL playoffs. The one thing that also surprised me, there's been a lot of penalties called.
Yeah.
I don't know. Have you noticed that? Seems like compared to years past, there still is kind of a let them play mentality. They let a lot of that stuff go, but I feel like there's been a lot of like crazy power plays. Like today, for example, the start of the Pittsburgh game, they gave him a 2-minute 5-on-3 within the first minute of the game. Pittsburgh.
Really?
Like,
why? I just turned it on.
Yeah. Just one was like an elbowing penalty, and then on the delayed penalty call, they got a slashing call, and then just things like that. A team that's up 3-1 on the road, and you give them a 2-minute. You just don't normally see that in the playoffs.
Did they score?
They did not. Actually,
wow.
Yeah, they didn't score. But no, it's weird because you don't normally see that. And another thing I've noticed is, you know how one team will get 2 or 3 calls, and then you just know the other team should be getting a call coming their way.
Yeah, they make a call.
Well, they try to make it even out, but they haven't been doing that as much in these playoffs. I don't know.
Which is good, which is good in a way, because you want them to call the game that's in front of them. You don't want them to just, I gave them a penalty, now I got to give these guys a penalty, which I see happens way too often.
Yeah. Yeah, no, that is true as well. But yeah, the playoffs have been good. I'm in agreement with you that I hope there's a bunch of Game 7s. And it looks like we are going to get a few. Yeah. We'll see how all the series play out in the next few days. There's a big game tonight, Calgary and Dallas. That's tied 2 apiece. So I could see that game going 7, or that series going 7. But looking forward to the rest of the first round here.
Absolutely, man.
So now that we've talked about all the fun teams in the playoffs, it must be nice. We can focus back to our non-playoff team here for a few minutes, the Canucks. It was our Stanley Cup Finals yesterday, which is the annual NHL draft lottery. And it was actually, I guess you could say it went okay for the Canucks based on our odds. We did not have a very good chance of winning the draft lottery. And this year they changed the rules actually. So teams, I think, picking in the back half. So say the Canucks if they would have won the draft lottery, we could have only moved up 10 spots. So we would have jumped up to the 5th pick. Now I was thinking that would have been the most Canuck thing ever for us to finally win the draft lottery and not be able to pick first, right? Like to move up to 5th or whatever.
Yeah.
But it didn't happen, and we didn't lose a spot too, which is positive. Normally we either move down or,
which is a win for us.
It's a win. So we're picking 15th. And from what I was hearing from our new GM there, Patrick Alvin, it's a pretty deep draft. So after the top end talent, like I think 1 to 3, he was saying, from 4 to about, I think 4 to actually like 20. It could be, depending on team needs and that. There isn't like that next guy. It's all solid players. So the Canucks should get a solid prospect there. I don't see them trading it like we traded our pick last year. So we will definitely
Where do you think
be
they're
taking
going
a
with that?
player.
Where do
Sorry,
you want to see them go with that pick?
best player available at
Yeah,
that
you don't
point.
care. Forward, D, goalie, whatever.
No, I mean best player available within reason. Like I don't see us drafting a goalie that high. We got Demko as our future goalie. It looks like. But yeah, if it's a defenseman, if it's a forward or center, whatever, center, left wing, right wing, I'm good with just best player available because I feel like the Canucks haven't done that in years past. I don't know. What about you? You hope they draft a certain position?
I always like to go defense, man. So I always want a big, tall, tough defenseman. That's how I like to build the teams, but they never ever listen to me. So that's where I like to see us go.
Yeah. Well, yeah, if there is that guy, like I'm not too familiar other than the first few picks in this draft. I would be happy with that. I mean, we do need another big, strong defenseman to kind of grow with Quinn Hughes and be that maybe number 2 guy.
Yeah.
Because Tyler Myers, I feel like could have been that guy, but we've talked about this a lot. He's just a gentle giant. Like,
I never noticed that until you said it. Now that when I watched his last couple of games, I was like, holy shit, Ty's freaking right, man. He could be amazing out there. He's good. He's got to
be a monster.
Yeah, he's a big boy.
Like, just get a little bit of a mean streak and just get in some of the, just play a little meaner.
Just watch tape from Chara, man. You see
Exactly.
Chara?
Yeah.
He's fighting everybody on the ice.
Yeah. Well, and just laying big hits. I think Myers is he's afraid to lay out or lay some of those big hits because he's been penalized and suspended a few times just because he's freaking tall and he'll end up hitting a smaller guy. And then it's, he's hitting them with his elbow around the back of his neck or something, and they're calling it like a headshot. I've seen that happen a few times. Maybe that's it. I don't know.
That's what I'm saying. Watch the tape from Chara or any of those big guys, man. Let's do what they do.
But yeah, so I'd be happy with the Canucks taking, a big defenseman or something like that. But I don't know. We're gonna get a good young prospect to help the rebuild, which is good. Speaking of rebuilding teams, the Canadians actually won the draft lottery, so they actually know how to tank properly. Kudos to them.
I feel like they tanked really fast, don't you? Like they were pretty decent.
They're just in the cup final 2 years ago.
What the hell?
That's good though. That's what you do. Now they're gonna get Shane Wright, who's the top prospect in this year's draft. He's not quite a generational talent like the number 1 pick next year is, that Connor Bedard, but definitely he's probably gonna be a star.
Boy, Connor.
Probably gonna be a star. Yeah, Shane Wright in this league. So yeah, they went to a cup final. They knew they kind of got lucky in the bubble there. They blew it up and they've tanked properly, like the Canucks they should have done for a few years past, not the last couple, but you know what I mean. And there they go. They win the number 1 pick, which we still have yet to do as a franchise. Yeah,
and we still have yet to win a cup either. So good for them. And I wish them all the best of luck with Shane.
For sure. For sure. And then so one more thing with the lottery here, the Seattle Kraken actually were the lone top 3 team to drop down, similar to what the Canucks have done in years past. So maybe it's like the curse of the Pacific Northwest.
Yeah, I don't know what's going on with that. Hey, that's crazy. And they just came into the league. Like, come on,
I know.
Give these guys a bone there, man. But
they'll still get a good young player. But yeah, they dropped from 2 to 4. So see what happens.
You said this is a pretty deep draft. Like it's a lot of talent up there.
From what I hear and from what our GM was saying. Now I don't know if he's just saying that to make fans like us a little excited and happy, but after normally there's like tiers, right? In any draft, it's like the first tier. I think that's like the top 3, and then it kind of drops down, but it's not like 3 or 4 in the top 20 tiers, right? Apparently it's like from 4 to 20. It could be anyone. There could be some moves being made, and just kind of like based on team needs ahead of us.
Kind of like this year's NFL draft. Then that was a pretty wide open.
Yeah, that was very wide open for sure. And there was one thing that Rick Dollywall from Donnie and Dolly there was talking about, is there were some rumblings that New Jersey was interested in JT Miller prior to the trade deadline. and they are one of the teams that jumped up to get the number 2 overall pick. So there's been a lot of talk. Would we swap Miller for the number 2 overall pick?
Would you do that on a really deep draft, like you're saying? Like you're not going to get a.
Well, no, that's the top 3 are like the top tier of the draft.
Oh, okay.
So you're moving up into that first level. Now
it's always a gamble, though, man. And you know what you're getting with JT. Although you gotta pay him a pretty penny. But
he's got 1 year left on this deal. You're gonna have to figure out how to
for him.
Yeah, you get nothing for him, or we got to figure out. That's what they're gonna do. Obviously, leading up to the draft right now, they're evaluating. They're talking to the agents. Besser, like we talked about last week, Besser, Horvat, and Miller all need to be extended. So they just got to decide what they want to do, and what direction they're going to go. But I definitely think this management team is going to try and do a proper rebuild and not just retool. And it feels like keeping Miller would be the retooling thing of,
I saw a weird post from Besser. Did you see it? He's like, he thanked Vancouver fans and everything for the last 5 years, like as if it was like kind of like he's leaving.
No, I didn't see that.
Yeah, I saw it. I was kind of like, I haven't heard anything. I was looking at them news things, whatever. Yeah. Like maybe he's just because it was almost right after that press conference he had, right, when he's kind of emotional and stuff. Could have been like he's just thanking everyone for that, but it didn't really specify what. And I was just like, kind of like, okay,
maybe,
but nothing's come out, so I don't know.
Yeah, maybe he knows something that we don't yet, and they're keeping it quiet until the draft, or I don't know.
Yeah,
but yeah. I don't know, man. But I think we finally have the right management team in place to take this team to a legit contender. Eventually, I don't know how soon it's going to be, but not just a retool and a proper rebuild, and hopefully compete for the playoffs and the cup for years to come.
I agree, man.
All right, Mike. Well, UFC 274 down in Phoenix, Arizona. Disappointed, actually. I was so excited for this card. It was really hyped up. I thought there were going to be some great fights. Don't get me wrong, there were a few, but overall, man, on the grand scheme of things, it was terrible. What did you think?
Fest, man. If you're going to grade this one to be a D-, I couldn't believe it. Like we started off the night. First of all, tons of things happened leading up to these fights. We had Donald Cerrone pull out last minute the day morning of because he had food poisoning. He probably went out and ate an Earl sandwich, like you said. But man, and so then they replaced that fight with what is their names there? We had Williams and Brown. They fought, but it was a split decision, went the distance. Nothing exciting happened in that fight at all. Yeah. I didn't think. I know you were out and about watching it. I watched it at home. How was the crowds? Were they into it, or is it just like a?
No, man. It was. We went to match in New West there at Starlight Casino.
Oh, yeah.
Because there's not a lot of places, honestly, that showed anymore. I'm surprised. I guess it's just it's expensive, I guess, for bars and places to order it. They got to pay per seat kind of thing. Kind of get that. And coming back from COVID, it's just an extra added expense. And I guess it just wasn't working. But anyways, the crowd at match, it wasn't very packed? Lively. It was busy.
Yeah.
We needed reservations, which we got. One of our buddies got reservations for us. But yeah, no, it was busy, but it was just like everyone was waiting for the next fight, how it started. You know what I mean? Like you talked about the first fight, like they fought, but it was a split decision, nothing exciting.
Yeah.
It was
a calm, cool, like,
nothing
didn't go anywhere. Right. Kind of a boring back and forth kind of match. Yeah. The next fight. Sorry, go ahead. No,
that's what I was going to say. The next fight surely did not help the crowd and the liveliness of everything. Those guys should not even be on a pay-per-view.
No, and I hope that they retire after this last fight. Like, Jesus,
to be honest, they shouldn't even be on the fight card, let alone the main card of a pay-per-view. But yeah, go ahead.
No, I agree. It was another split decision win for St. Prude. I picked him to win it. I thought he was just going to run right through Shogun, knock him out. but it was a similar fight to the first fight. It was just back and forth, slow. No one really wanted to do anything. And he squeaks out a split decision win. I think both these guys should retire. If you lost a round to Shogun Hua and he's at 40 years old, like, come on, man. You should be retiring. And Shogun, obviously, he looks like he shouldn't even be in the ring anymore. He's looking flabby, and I don't think he's. I think he should talk. These people should talk to him and be like, "Listen, we've had enough now."
It's not good for your overall well-being in life. Fighting like that. The guy is, like you said, he's older. He definitely should retire. I hope he does. I hope Dana forces him to after that. Yeah, for sure. And then the fight after that, we had Michael Chandler versus Tony Ferguson. This is one that I really wanted to see, and I was really excited for. And this one was actually really good fight. This is what I didn't want to see Chandler just lay on him the whole time, which I thought we are going to see. He actually came out to bang with him, and what a knockout! And he got rocked a few times early too by Ferguson. I thought Ferguson looked pretty good early on. That's the thing. I didn't think that he'd be a minus 400. Chandler should be a minus 400 if you're going to sit there and bang with Tony Ferguson. Yeah, And then the kick heard around the world, I guess you could say. I thought he killed him. The place went from even at match, the place went from everyone going crazy for the knockout, and then just seeing him face down, out cold, oh my god, is he dead? Holy shit. Did that, you see some of the slow-mos of that kick? Yeah, man. Looked like he aged 60 years from that freeze frame of his face being compressed by that kick. Oh man, that was brutal. That's probably knockout. That's probably one of the craziest knockouts I've ever seen. Yeah, it's gonna be It's gonna be up there for knockout of the year. I can't think of anything else that was more devastating than that so far this year. It's gonna be in the talks and for a long time, I think. Oh, for sure. That's going to be added to that UFC. When you go to the live fights, that opening video, that is definitely going to be on there, man. But the fight itself, it was actually pretty, it would save the card in my opinion. Even though it was pretty quick, it was an exciting fight. And like you said, Chandler didn't just go there and try and lay on him. He actually stood and threw some punches with him, and Ferguson did catch him a couple times. He's an exciting fighter, eh? That Chandler, I like him. Oh yeah, man. He's got that persona that the UFC needs right now. I feel like there's not enough of those guys. It's a little bit over the top. It's almost getting into the WWE a little bit. Yeah, well, that's what Conor did to get big and true. Right? But he even called out Conor after the fight. He did, and that was another thing. His post-fight presser was awesome. But I feel like the UFC needs a few more guys like him. Because they'll get I want to see him fight it all those guys. He called out a few of them, and I definitely think he could. I think he would destroy Conor. I don't know. I can't believe all the hype Conor's still getting. I think he's just because he's the money fight. And everyone wants the money. That's why he's calling out. He already fought Oliveira and he already fought Gaethje and lost to both those guys. So now I know you're gonna go for the money. Yeah. But what do you think's next for Chandler? Where would you go if you were him or you're the UFC or whatever? I don't know, man. I feel like he's fought quite a few times in the last couple of years. I mean, who has he lost to? He fought for the title, right? Lost to Oliveira. Oliveira for the title, yeah. He got knocked out, and then he lost. Before that, though, he went on a little run. No, to get the title fight. Before he fought for the belt, he won one fight in the UFC. Oh yeah, because he was a new addition from. Yeah, he was the Bellator champ. Yeah. That's right. He came over, fought one guy, and then direct straight into a. That's why they say he's got the Dana White privilege bullshit because and that's why Ferguson was all pissed off. You remember that tweet you showed me? Yeah, he was going on a rant because Ferguson has on a 12-fight win streak and he didn't get no title shot. Where this guy comes in, he fights one no-name guy, boom, title shot, right? But at the same time, like we said, I feel like he does a great job of promoting himself there, Chandler. And that's what the UFC is looking for. Like Ferguson, even in that interview, you kind of feel bad for him, but you don't want to go see him fight with that, complaining about the UFC and all that stuff, right? Yeah. So he definitely doesn't do a good job hyping himself up, in my opinion. But yeah, in terms of who Chandler should fight next, I'd love to see Conor come back and fight him, just for the lead up to that. Would do it. I don't think Conor would do it because Conor would get his ass kicked. But a Poirier, maybe that'd be a good fight. One of those top 5. Poirier. Who else is up there right now?
I mean, we just saw Gaethje and Oliveira fight. I mean,
Yeah.
does he get a title shot? I don't think so. Does he deserve another one? No.
No, not yet.
Do you think he does?
No, I don't think so. I think he needs another fight or two. But even if he fought someone like Connor and won, I still don't think that would be enough to even get it. It would be enough based on, the name. But
that'd be a huge fight if that happened. I'd be wanting to go to it.
Yeah.
But
and imagine the lead up to that, because he likes to talk a lot of trash too.
Yeah, even Oliveira called out McGregor. So
yeah, true.
It's tough to see where they're going to go with it. On the other end, where would you go if you were Ferguson?
I would retire, man. The guy I thought he was dead. I texted you when that happened. I was like, oh man, I think he might be dead. He just got a foot through his face.
I agree with you.
Like,
I hope that his
cold.
people in his inner circle there sit him down and be like, look, man, you don't want to, he's taken a lot of damage the last couple years.
It's 4 losses in a row too, right?
For him. 4 losses in a row. Could be 5. It's 4 anyways, for sure.
At least 4, yeah. So I don't know.
Yeah.
I think he must have a fight or two left on his contract, but yeah, I would tell him to retire.
Yeah.
It was a good run, man. Maybe you should just teach, jiu-jitsu
and
MMA and stuff, but
become a fan of the game.
I don't think he'd be taking any more knockouts like that, because that was one of the most brutal knockouts I've ever seen. We'll have to put that on our story.
Yeah, for sure.
That freeze frame picture. But yeah, you're just talking about Oliveira. What do you think about the main event?
Yeah, the main event was, well, first of all, he missed weight, which is unbelievable. I don't know how you do that. You're the champ. Like, that's on him.
It is, but
come on, man.
Just to cut you off for 1 sec, there was some controversy about the scale, and it wasn't calibrated properly or something, and it could have been off half a pound. So even post-fight, they're asking Dana about it, and he's like, "Oh yeah, we're gonna have to get that sorted out. It can't happen." It's like, I don't know if that was it, but even Dana was saying, yeah, there was an issue with the scale and calibration of it, and that could have been it, because there's a few other fighters that I guess still made weight, but they were having issues. Anyways, regardless, you gotta be in that zone. You can't be that close.
Exactly.
Title fight like that.
Yeah, the fights. I mean, it happened exactly how I thought it was going to happen. I thought that he was going to be better than I expected, which he was, because he has been every single time he's come out and fought in the last few times. And I thought he would finish Gaethje. And I think I called it in round 4 rear naked choke, but he did it in round 1. Again, surprised me. Round 1, like 3 minutes in, finished him, and he got tagged too. Like we said, Gaethje's going to hurt him, and he did. This guy's a beast, man. I don't know. He's the real deal. He's the champ, and I'm going to give it to him now.
He took those punches like with ease. Like, he got rocked and he went down, and he wanted to pull guard on Gaethje, and every time Gaethje's like, nope, don't want any of that. Like, stand up. I mean, I think Gaethje got a little impatient with the fight, and he just got caught scrambling, and look how quick Oliveira can capitalize, man. That guy is
he's
unreal.
So good with those submissions, and he has the UFC record now with most submissions.
Yeah, as another, just like, he made it look so easy. Like, sure, like, he got rocked a few times, but he just got up and just put him away with ease. It seemed like I was never worried for him in that fight. You know what I mean? Even the couple times he got rocked, so like, at no point did I think he was going to lose.
Yeah, I know. The guy's such a beast now. I mean, he's getting himself up there in like the realm of, John Jones and stuff. These guys he's on another level than all the competition in that weight division. I don't see anyone in there that can challenge the belt for him right now. Anyways,
Khabib, I would say, would
that be something?
I feel like he's the only guy right now that could beat Oliveira.
And it would be great to see, because his stand-up's awesome, and his ground game is where he's dangerous.
Just as good.
Khabib's ground game, that would be such a good fight, man. Oh man, I wish I could see that. Come on, Khabib, get out.
I bet you Dana is like power calling him and like trying to figure out all these incentives, trying to lure him back in for a fight like that, because that seems like the only guy in my mind that could beat him. I don't know.
Yeah, that would be something else to see that fight happen. But on the other end, again, where do you go with your Gaethje?
Yeah, I know.
Second title fight, you lost it. I mean, he's
Back
gonna be
to
like
the
one of those
drawing
guys.
board. He's just gonna be one of those, like we talk about all the time. The word they use, the gatekeeper, I think, for the division, like that tough guy. Can't.
Yeah, like an Ortega.
But you know what? Oliveira was that guy for
Ferguson.
years too, though. Hey, and he finally got over the hump.
Yeah,
He
Oliveira
was that guy that was
11
around
years.
forever, and then that's why it was such a feel-good story when he first won the belt.
Yeah.
And I honestly did not think we'd be here talking about him with all these title defenses against these dangerous guys.
Yeah,
But
no
yeah,
kidding,
this was the second part of my champ parlay, and I don't know if you'll notice, Mike, I purposely skipped over the co-main event to go to the main event for a reason.
man.
What the fuck was that?
Oh
Man.
man. Like
What the hell was Rose doing?
And the strawweight women's division is like the most exciting fighters and fights that I have ever seen, down
Yeah.
there.
Yeah.
And like some of the fights I was thinking back, like Joanna and Rose, and all of them, man. It's unreal with Wiley when her head was like
Yeah.
Puffed
Hematoma
up, but-
or whatever. Yeah.
yeah. Yeah, I don't know. They obviously didn't come to fight. And I don't know, like they just, to me, it's something that they just danced around the entire 25 minutes. No one wanted it. No one threw punches. Rose said after the fight that she was just, trying to be strategic about it. But I mean, if you're gonna be strategic, you got to try to win some rounds here and like hit her, beat her up, like do something.
Even you could talk about scoring. Octagon controls one of them. Like she wasn't the one coming forward. She was backing off. The whole fight. She wasn't pressing at all. She scored maybe one late takedown there, thinking that was enough to win the fight. But
Who's that?
Carla,
You're talking about Rose?
Yeah, late. She took her down late in the 5th round, but Carla took her down multiple rounds.
Yeah.
Scored a whole bunch of points. She was the aggressor overall.
But not really though.
More so,
like just a little bit more so, maybe. Is that was that enough?
I don't feel
to
like
become the champ?
I don't feel like, based on how the UFC normally is, like, it's usually kind of a thing where you got to beat the champ to be the champ in a close fight like that. So If anything, I thought the split decision should have gone to Rose, but at the same time, man, like, I don't know what the hell she was doing. Her post fight presser was a little weird too. Like, oh, why can't I fight like this and not take any damage and
to my face and stuff like that.
Yeah, damage to my face. It was kind of weird. And then you also had her husband in her corner telling her she was winning, which didn't help. So I think it was partly on him too. Like, oh yeah, you got this fight. You're winning. Well,
this must have been their game plan to like just take it easy, don't get taken down, and just try to make it a stand-up battle. But that's a real boring fight to watch.
I think she pissed Dana off, because I've never seen Dana so happy to put the belt around someone in my life. Like when he put it on Carla. He was even tweeting like, and knew right away. Like it just seemed like he was pissed. Like if you're gonna be a UFC champion, you cannot go in there and put on a performance like that.
Yeah, especially when I agree. I mean, but at the same time, I didn't see that Carla had won that fight. I mean, did you guys see the judges scoring on that? It was a split decision, and one of the judges gave 4 rounds to Carla. It was
I don't see that either.
49 to 46, and that's got to be Sal D'Amato for sure.
Yeah, I didn't notice who the judges were, but no, man, it was one of the worst fights I've ever seen. Luckily, it was sandwiched in between 2 of the best fights on the card, so that's why it was forgettable. But man, I like Rose, and that was such a distant. Like, where do you go now? Like, there's no need for an immediate rematch.
I think who the hell wants to see that?
Who the fuck wants to see that?
Who the hell wants to see that?
You think Dana White's gonna do that again? I think they asked Dana, and he like pretty much laughed. Like, there's no need to do that again, kind of thing. Like, why are we gonna sit here for 15 minutes or 25 minutes and watch that again? Like,
I guess that opens the door for Wiley and like Joanna
for sure.
Yeah.
I'd rather see her in there with her swollen head after a few punches.
I think Joanna actually beat Carla.
She'll put on a good show
before. I think so. I know Carla was the first ever strawweight champion in the UFC. Her and Rose fought in the UFC show there or whatever for that title, and that's when she won the first time. But yeah, you're right, because now Carla's beat Rose twice. There's no why have a trilogy belt when you haven't even beat her once? It should be, if she had won, then maybe you could.
Yeah, Rose will have to go back to the drawing board, obviously, fight her way back up there again.
Oh
And
man, poor Rose. I feel like that's all she does is just keep on fighting.
well, she had one title defense and then
better.
this. That's why it was so surprising. I don't know. Maybe she
Yeah.
got too comfortable.
And yeah, it's weird because Rose's wrestling has improved a lot since the loss to Carla, 6 years ago.
Yeah.
Or 8 years ago. Sorry.
Yeah, no, she was a much more well-rounded fighter. But man, yeah, that was terrible. They showed I don't know if Adesanya was he was live streaming the fights talking about it or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know, something like that. I saw a little clip. He fell asleep during that fight.
Oh,
on the couch watching.
I had my buddy Mike over here and I was watching it, and yeah, we weren't even paying attention to it by the second, third round.
Yeah.
Like, what the hell is this?
Yeah.
It was such a snoozer, man. Again, I gave it the whole night a D-.
Yeah.
I want my money back.
Yeah, man.
I want to see some better fights.
UFC has some making up to do in the next few cards because luckily the Ferguson Chandler fight and the main event was good. But yeah, overall I agree with your grade. We'll give it a passing grade because of those two good finishes, but yeah, overall not a great night of fights. And Rose messed up my champ parlay, so there's that as well.
Yeah.
Okay, Mike, so it's that time of the year where the schedule makers in the National Football League give us our Seahawk schedule. It's going to be released tomorrow afternoon. Very excited about that. I am eager to see when we will be playing at home against the Denver Broncos this year for the welcome Russell Wilson party. Back to
100%.
Back to Lumen Field. But yeah, there's some pretty big NFL news, I would say. It's already being reported. As we all know, Brady came back unretired again. This guy just can't get enough of himself. Needs to be in the spotlight all the time. There was the release of his latest contract. So the first thing I saw, it's like a 10-year deal. I'm thinking, who the hell would sign this guy who's already like 47 or 48, 42, whatever he is. Anyways, to a 10-year deal. And then I took a second look at it. It's a 10-year deal with Fox to be their, I guess, color commentary guy, their main, like their featured game of the week guy with Kevin Burkhardt. Because as we all know, they lost Joe Buck and Troy Aikman to ESPN. They're going to be the new Monday Night Football guys. So they were in need of a big name. And they're putting all their chips in, betting on Tom Brady to deliver $376 million.
Well, I think it was a good move. I mean, they went out there and they picked up the biggest fish in the sea, man. Like, if you said who would sign them to a 10-year deal, I think Dan Fernandez probably would. To play.
True. That is true.
But he's got commentary experience. I mean, I obviously like it. I'm going to want to tune in and watch him. Who doesn't, man? It's Tom Brady. The GOAT.
I mean,
best ever.
He's obviously a great quarterback. We don't know if he can go out there, and they're hoping he's going to be like a Tony Romo. Breaking down plays, and Romo will almost predict like, oh, they're in this formation, they're going to run this look.
It'd be cool if he did, and we can sort of get into his mind, see how he sort of breaks down the defense and stuff like that.
Yeah,
but he kind of does already, like we said previously, like on the Monday Night Football and stuff. He does come out there and do some commentary. I have heard him on the NFL, XFM radio station and stuff like that. He's on there like weekly, so he's not going into this never have done any broadcasting.
True, but it's a little different. This is live. He's breaking down like his game that he played or past games or the next game. I mean, This is live on the field. What's going on? I mean, obviously he knows football better than most, but I don't know. I think it's an interesting move. I mean, they had to do something, like I said, losing their two main guys. But yeah, there's some interesting lineups for commentary now around the different networks. So CBS, obviously, Jim Nantz and Tony Romo, I just talked about. Fox is going to have Kevin Burkhardt, who I've never really liked. You'd recognize his voice, and he used to do a lot of Seahawks games. He's now their number one play-by-play guy, which he'll be paired with Tom Brady when he's done playing. We're assuming it might be after this year, but we'll see what happens. NBC now has Mike Tirico and Chris Collinsworth for Sunday Night Football. ESPN, Joe Buck and Troy Aikman, they're a great duo. I'll like them a lot better on Monday Night Football than what they've had in the past. And then Amazon, who's now jumping into the NFL market for those Thursday night games, they are going to get Al Michaels, who was previously on Sunday Night Football.
Isn't Amazon making a big push?
Yeah, I don't know what their deal is, but I think they have most of the Thursday night games this year.
Yeah.
We'll be able to stream them on Amazon Prime and stuff. So, but yeah, no, it's insane because that Brady deal, 370 something million, whatever, that 10-year deal, that's more than he's made in his entire playing career.
That's insane, man.
As a quarterback. Yeah. So totally. But hey, good for him. It's funny though that he retires. He spent like a month with his wife and decided that he needs to get the hell out of the house, go back to football, and then he's probably thinking like, oh man, I'm getting older. I don't know if I can play another 10 years. So I got to get myself locked up in something so I have something to fall back on and get me out of the house, right?
Yeah.
I mean, personally, I'd probably just golf and stuff and travel if I was him, but to each their own.
I can think of a lot of things to do.
Right? It's not like he needs the money.
No.
But no, good for him, I guess. I'm sure Dan is very excited about that. He'll get to hear and see Tom weekly during the NFL season, even after he is long retired.
Yep.
All right, guys, it is now time for our Bodog best bets of the week. We didn't do that great last week. We're hoping for a bounce back this week. I think, Mike, you're talking about going a little bit off the board here. Hey, what are you thinking for this week?
You know what? I am going to go a little bit off the board here this week. As you know, and probably some that listen know that I do like to go cycling. And I got a couple of buddies that we like to ride around Abbotsford. We do some Grand Fondos and whatnot. So this week is the Giro d'Italia. It's a big bike race, probably the second largest. I would say it's the second largest bike race in the world, second to the Tour de France. And I'm going to place a wager on Mark Cavendish. Mark Cavendish to outright win this thing. He's a plus 225. He is the second favorite, right behind Caleb Ewan, who's a plus 185. Only reason I'm going to go with Cavendish because I know who he is. I've seen him race before in the Tour de France, and he's doing pretty well there. They're on stage 6, so that's where my money's going with Mark Cavendish.
Wow, nice bet. I'm not going to lie. When you said you were going with Mark Cavendish, I thought it's because you like the fries. That's like a brand of fries. Yeah. And I thought that's what I was thinking when you said Cavendish.
I do like the fries too.
Cool. What do you got? Man. That's interesting. I'm going to have to look out for that.
And just so you know, the Tour de France starts June 1st. So that's coming up too. And there's going to be I'll probably be making some wages there, of course, on Bodog.
Awesome. Good stuff, man. Well, for my best bet, I am going back to the links. It's the AT&T Byron Nelson Classic, I guess they call it. This weekend. It's a tournament leading up to the PGA Championship, which is next weekend. So a lot of these big name golfers will be looking to get back into form for the major. So I saw this bet. It's a little interesting. I have Xander Schauffele and Dustin Johnson both to finish in the top 20 for this week's tournament, and it pays out at plus 200. So $50 bet will pay you $100. They both, like I said, will want to be perfecting their game here, getting ready for the second major of the year. So we will look for that. And so we got some golf and cycling bets. I like that. We'll just recap. Govic's bet is the Oilers to win the series in Game 7, come back and win, obviously. Now Dan isn't here, so I'm going to go out on a limb here and make a bet for him. I know he has Tampa Bay in our playoff pool here. So I'm gonna also do the same for him and go with Tampa Bay winning Game 7 in Toronto this weekend. So there you go, Dan and
Good
Govik.
pick.
And yeah, obviously we still have the promo going on. If you buy in, we'll match up to $400. Bodog will match up to $400 with your first deposit. And yeah, know your limit, play within it, and have a little fun betting on all the sports that are going on right now.
All right, everyone. Thank you for tuning in. This was episode 56 of the West Coast Sports Junkies. Mike and Ty, we had Chris on for a little bit. Make sure you tune in next week. We'll be doing a big major preview of the which tournament is it, Ty?
This week,
Next week.
PGA Championship.
PGA Championship. The
Major
big one.
week.
Major week, yes. Make sure you guys tune in. We're going to break it down, have some picks for y'all. And we'll see you then.